All right, evening. I'm seeing 3 persons. We can start because I'll just look at your news report that you prepared. We were supposed to have had a guest lecturer today. I didn't remind him. It's actually Darren Henry, who used to read news on CVM for a number of years. I think about 20 years he has been in the media. I forgot to remind him. So I suppose he'll be here next week, Wednesday, because he cannot lecture on, cannot be here on, cannot be here on a Monday. Junior Rumble, go ahead. Let's see what you have.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Yes, I should share my video. You say?
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on, let me try and get it.
Wait a minute. What you want?
Are you able to share, Junior? Are you able to share? All right, it doesn't seem as if Junior is able to share. All right, Carrie Ann Brown, can you share what you have so far, what you did? I know I saw some of them in the WhatsApp group, but I'd love for us to do it within the context of the class. Carrie Ann Brown, are you hearing me? Or did you hear me? Carrie Brown, sorry. Not sure what's happening with these students. All right, Carlene Wilson, are you able to share?
Sir, I'm in a bus going home.
Okay. Luke Harris, are you able to share?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Let me try. One second.
Okay.
Hearing, sir?
I'm not hearing anything. I think you're giving us too much information too. Can you share it in the WhatsApp group and then I will share it for you?
I did send it to you, sir.
It's in the WhatsApp group?
I think I sent it to you.
Send it to me directly or in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir.
No, I'm asking, did you send it to me directly or did you send
directly,
it?
Sir.
I'd have to go search to find it.
I remember you sent it to.
Yes, resend it. Let me know when you have resent it. And while you are doing that, let's move on to Natalia Watson. Could you please share your video for us?
Sent it to you, sir.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to play it now while Natalia gets hers ready to share. All right. Let me-
I'll have to send mine in the group also.
I'm not seeing it. Hold on, let me see something. I'm on WhatsApp web, but I'm not seeing it.
It's loading, sir.
Oh, yeah, it just came up. All right, so let me. All right, so what we are listening
Master.
for, we're listening for.
Military.
Remember to mute your mics, people. We're listening
Yeah,
for.
sir, I sent mine as well, sir.
Okay. All right, once you send it, that's okay, all right? We're listening for pronunciation. Oh, so quickly, I want for you to Google and tell me what's the difference between pronunciation, enunciation. Quickly, tell me what's the difference between pronunciation and enunciation. Let's just remind ourselves of some of the basic facts or basic definitions that are important to the course. You can paste, you can copy and paste your answer in the chat, or if you want to verbalize your response.
All right. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
All right. So Google says that pronunciation is
Pronoun,
related.
not pronounced, pronoun.
Yeah, pronunciation is related to the word itself, focusing on which syllables should be emphasized and how certain letters or combination of letters should sound when speaking. Enunciation refers to how clearly and distinctly a particular individual forms the sound that make up a word.
All right, so that is very, very important in terms of understanding pronunciation and enunciation. In your own words, and this is for everybody, can you tell me the difference between pronunciation and enunciation? If there's a difference.
Sir, I think there's a difference because pronunciation is where like you just calling a word or just pronouncing the word, and enunciation is where you express it with meaning.
All right, I think it's more than just expressing it with meaning, but all right, but that's a very good way of looking at it. Anybody
Sir?
else? Yes.
Yes, sir. Pronunciation is where we try to find our syllables. While enunciation is the clear projection of how we use the pronunciation.
Right, and you'll find that enunciation is very individualistic, or it's a very individual thing versus pronunciation. So enunciation, in other words, how I enunciate is different from how other people enunciate. And some persons are trained enunciators or orators. So that's a way of looking at it. And that is part of what we're listening to in terms of the news report. But before we get to that, let me play an example of a very good public. I'm not sure if I'd played this before for everybody, but she is a very good public speaker. Somebody I admire a lot. So I'm going to play her opening remarks. And I want for you to listen very carefully and very clearly to her enunciation. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just about ready to begin. Good afternoon. I am Paula Ann Porter-Jones, and it is my pleasure to be your guide through this session of the Catalyst Business Development Conference for 2014. Now, I understand it has been quite a successful staging so far since we began this morning. There was a lot of energy and excitement with the Youth Innovators Competition. We had 50 participants from the top 12 schools. We're going to be hearing the winners of the competition in a short while. We also had Brian Lumley and Melanie Levy passing through, helping to make the session very interactive and real world for the participants. Our sessions after that included the exhibition of various products. We had 5 products being launched, and the winners of last year's competition were also launched as well, their product. And we can, of course, see that in the lobby area outside this main room. After that, Ms. Douglas gave her presentation on financial strategies geared to SMEs. And now we are ready to move into the next segment of the program. We'd like to welcome the folks listening across the island and through the internet via our friends from Nationwide who are broadcasting from here today. A special welcome, of course, to the Honorable Minister who will be addressing us in a short while. And I must make special mention also of Robert Johnson and Jay Brennan and Dr. Pinnock, who are at the head table with us, our special guests for this year's conference.
Please mute your mics. All right, talk to me now in terms of enunciation or what you liked or didn't like about her opening. I am listening.
Sir, her enunciation was very clear.
Mm-hmm.
There were no glitches, no scratches. Also, her words were pronounced properly. And her delivery was also good.
So her words were pronounced correctly, not properly, correctly.
Correctly.
Yes. All right. Anybody else? Anyone else wants to comment?
Sir,
Yes.
I like the way she paced herself.
Right.
Also her breathing technique.
I thought her breathing was poor, actually. She sounded very breathy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if persons heard her. You kind of heard every
First
time.
time in the ear that.
All right, let's listen again. She was very, at least in my estimation, I could be wrong, she was very breathy. Very clear enunciation. She pronounced her words correctly, but in my opinion, she was a bit breathy. But let's listen again. And another thing too, as far as I know, I understand the protocol, is that you acknowledge the presence of the minister before you acknowledge the presence of anybody else. Well, that's something I will also teach you in terms of protocol, that when you are, for example, the moderator for a session, you have to, there's a kind of quote unquote hierarchy in terms of speakers, in terms of the platform party. And whenever you're even being asked to do a public, do any kind of speech, you need to find out who's going to be there and you find out the order of importance. So if you have the minister, the junior minister, do you have the prime minister, the head of the school or whatever, it is important that you understand how to recognize the presence of those persons, their titles and stuff like that. All right, let's listen again. Some person said that she didn't sound breathy. I could be wrong, but I'm almost sure she was a bit breathy to me. Let's listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just about ready to begin. Good afternoon. I am Paula Ann Porter-Jones, and it is my pleasure to be your guide through this session of the Catalyst Business Development Conference for 2014. Now, I understand it has been quite a successful staging so far since we began this morning. There was a lot of energy and excitement with the Youth Innovators Competition. We had 50 participants from the top 12 schools. We're going to be hearing the winners of the competition in a short while. We also had Brian Lumley and Melanie Levy passing through, helping to make the session very interactive and real world for the participants. Our sessions after that included the exhibition of various products. We had 5 products being launched, and the winners of last year's competition were also launched as well, their product. And we can, of course, see that in the lobby area outside this main room. After that, Ms. Douglas gave her presentation on financial strategies geared to SMEs. And now we are ready to move into the next segment of the program. We'd like to welcome the folks listening across the island and through the internet via our friends from Nationwide who are broadcasting from here today. A special welcome, of course, to the Honorable Minister who will be addressing us in a short while. And I must make special mention also of Robert Johnson and Jay Brennan and Dr. Pinnock, who are at the head table with us, our special guests for this year's conference.
All right, talk to me. They are silent. I'm not sure why.
And yes, kind of hear.
Sir,
Yes.
so you're saying that when you're talking, like how she start and she do a little, a deep breathe, you're not allowed to do that? That's what you're saying?
That's not the only thing. I'm looking at her speech in totality. You're taking out one particular moment. I'm looking at it in its entirety.
That's from me, sir, or somebody else?
Okay.
I'm looking at it in its entirety. Come on, people, talk to me. Let me hear what you have to say.
Okay, so is on the definition for enunciation, right? You could clearly hear her how she pronounce a word.
We move from the, Oran, are you just joining the class? We move from that already. We're talking about her breathing.
Oh, sorry.
That's what we're focusing on now. I said that she sounded a bit breathy and persons were saying no.
Oh, breathy.
Right. Because remember, this is why we do the breathing exercise. Remember, we did the breathing exercises.
Yes.
Remember, we were doing the breathing exercises because, well, let me just hear what persons have to say.
Yes, so the after I mentioned it, yeah, she really sounded breathy. I could almost hear every breath she took.
Every breath she took, you could hear it.
Yeah, but it could be also the effectiveness of the microphone system. Maybe she needed to step back from it. But she really, I could hear every breath that she took every time.
Every time, especially when she completed a sentence and was about to begin a new sentence. You heard that, and it could be you're so correct. Is it Lysian? That's how you pronounce your name?
That can work.
No, tell me how to pronounce it.
Listen,
right.
Yeah.
So it could be that the microphone was not properly fixed, or because sometimes it's not her, well, she was breathing, but it could be that the microphone itself, there was an issue with the microphone, and as you rightly said, it could be that she needed to step back a little bit from the microphone, or something was wrong, or she was just genuinely breathy. Think about news reports. When they're reading the news, do you hear them breathing? Like, you don't hear, I don't remember like listening to any news report and you hear people breathing into the microphone.
No, sir, not normally, but maybe their system set up a bit different, so it kind of amplifies certain sound and bar certain sound. It could be
Right. So it could be that it's a sound engineering issue, or it could be just that she is breathy. I know too that even singers, when Whitney Houston was in her prime, trust me, well, most of the singers who are, most of the real good singers, you don't hear them breathing. You wonder if they're breathing, but they are able to do that. And part of breathing or sounding breathy too sometimes is nerves, when you're very nervous. I'm not sure that she was nervous in this instance, but she just sounded a bit breathy. But she's a very, 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 very good orator, very, very good public speaker. She had years and years of training. I was talking to somebody who was close to her, and they were telling me that she has years and years of training for her voice to reach that point. It takes a while for people to become public speakers. All right, at this point in time, I want us, before we start sharing, let us first of all exercise our own articulators, get into the groove of breathing and exercising the articulators. So I'll just randomly choose about 5 persons to read number 1, number 2, number 3. Quickly find it on you remember I shared it via WhatsApp. So number 1 is the and the shrill. Number 2 is only you can hear. And number 3 is this is the horse. So I'm going to choose some persons randomly to read as a way to exercise your articulators. And at the beginning of, when you're about to start, just inhale and then you read, okay? All right, so let's start with Renee Richards. Go ahead, Renee. You're going to read number one for us.
Sir, where's number 1? I'm not seeing anything on the screen.
It's in the WhatsApp group, Renee.
Hold on, sir, I'm using my phone. Hold on.
While Renee is searching for that, Patricia Williams, can you go for me number 2?
Sir, give me a minute, please.
All right, and for number 3, we're going to Oran Walters, number 3.
Sir, which document we're reading, sir? The same one that we had in the
The
group on
WhatsApp
the
group,
last
right?
one?
Yes, it was in the WhatsApp group.
All right, all right.
All right, go ahead, Renee. Renee, have you found it?
Sir, could you tell me what is number 2 again, please?
Number 2 is actually listed, is labeled number 2. Only you can hear. Renee, are you there?
Sir, I am here, but only thing I'm seeing now in the WhatsApp group is the last thing that is sent from Ashana and a Gangali. That's the last thing I'm seeing in the oral communication group. So I am refreshing this page.
Refreshing what page? It would be in your gallery. Remember, no, it was sent as an image, so it would be a part of your gallery. Unless you deleted it out of your phone.
Yeah. My phone always a reboot. Hold on, let me do. So it's not in my gallery.
Sir, I'll just send it to her. I'll send it to her.
Thanks.
Can you just send it back in the WhatsApp group, please?
Only you can hear the horses sleeping in the street, in the slow, deep salt and silent black. Bandage night.
Hold on. Is that your background in noise?
Hold on, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you do something about the noise?
Still on the road. I'm sorry. All right, so only you can hear the horses sleeping. The horses sleeping in the streets, in the slow, deep salt and silent black.
Hold on. Is this Renee? Did I not say number one? Did I give you number two or number one?
Number two, you said, sir, and I'm only seeing number two and part of number three that was sent.
Renee, both are in the group. You need to check the message.
Renee, you are supposed to read number one. Your name was the last name on my list. You're number one, Patricia is number two, and Oran is number three.
All right. So I'm trying to use the phone to read and the phone to have the class. Because as I said, I'm on the road. So give me a minute. Let me just pull it back up. Sorry, it's loading because I have to download it.
All right, while Renee is doing that, just mute your mic for me, Renee, until it downloads. Patricia, go ahead for me for number two, please.
Only you can hear the houses sleeping in the streets, in the slow, deep salt and silent black bandaged night. Only you can see in the blinded bedrooms the corns and petticoats over the chairs, the jugs and basins, the glasses of teeth. Thou shalt not on the wall. Hold on a minute, sir. All right. Thou shalt not on the wall, and the yellowing dicky bird watching pictures of the dead. Only you can hear and see behind the eyes of the sleepers, and movements and countries and mazes and colors and dismays and rainbows and tunes and wishes and flight and fail and despair
And fall.
and, and flight and fall and despairs and the dark seas of their dreams.
Okay, thank you. Oran, go ahead for me.
Okay. This is the horse and the horn.
No, man, Oran, something.
This is
You hungry or something? Are you hungry? You must be hungry,
No.
me carry it, sir. No, man, put in a little more oomph into it for me, sir. Look at more life, look at more oomph.
All right. This is the horse and the hound and the horn that belongs to the former soil is gone, that kept the cock that crowed in the morn, that woke the priest all shriven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all fallen, that milk the cow with a crippled horn, that toast the dog that wore.
That's crumpled.
Sorry. Oh. Crumbled?
Crumpled.
Crumpled, oh, with a crumpled horn, that tossed the dog that wore the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house, that Jack did.
The word is it. Go again for me. Are you not even getting the rhyming? The rhyme. Do you see the rhyming? What words rhyme in it?
I'm torn.
Right, there are several rhymes. It means that there's a certain rhythm in it, but you are not getting the rhythm. Go again for me.
This is a horse and the horn.
Is it horse or horse?
Horse. This is a horse and the horn, and the horse and the horn that belong to the farmer sowing his corn.
Hold on. Is it belong or belonged?
Belonged to the
Right,
farmer.
it's past tense. Belong is present, belonged is past tense. Go again for me from the beginning.
This is the horse and the horn that belonged to the farmer sowing his corn, that kept the cock.
Sowing, S-O, sowing. All right, so what you're going to do for me, Oran, you're going to read it to yourself, and then I'm going to come back to you. It seems as if you're going through the motion, and I don't want you to go through the motion. All right, because if you're going through the motion, you're not going to get what I'm trying to teach you. So I'm going to come back to you. All right, Renee, please mute your mic.
Oh, sir, I can go now.
You ready? Okay, go ahead for me.
And the shoe girl giggled and mustered around him.
Hold on, Renee. Is this the first time you're hearing this passage? What's the third word? You pronounce the third word? The third word?
Shrill girl.
Okay, go again for me.
And the shrill girls giggled and mustered around him and squeal as they clutch and trash. And he blubbers away downhill with his patch pants falling and his tears splashed blush burns all the way as the triumphant sisters scream with buttons in their claws, and the bully brothers hoot after him his little nickname and his mother's shame and his father's wickedness with the loose, wild, bare feet woman of the whole of the hill.
Are you seeing this passage for the first time, Renee?
No, sir.
So why are you making so many errors? Go again for me, because several of the words you didn't pronounce correctly. The word is women. And I taught this in the class before.
On the YouTube something. And
No, I don't want no YouTube. I want you to say it to me publicly. No. Go again for me from the beginning.
All right.
Are you going to read for us, Renee? Just tell me. If you're not going to read, I can move on. No problem.
Aye. And the shrill girls giggle and muster
and the shrill. And the
shrill girls giggle.
Shrill. Say that word. Shrill. Right. And the, go again.
And the shrill girls giggle and mustered around him. And
muster. Hold on. You're putting an ED onto the word muster. It's not past tense, it's present tense.
Muster.
All right, so you're going to read it to yourself, and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
Natalia Watson. So the next three readers, Natalia, you're going to take number 3 for me, Luke, number 2, and Leshana, number 1. Go ahead for me, starting with Luke.
Yes, sir. Only you can hear the houses sleeping in the streets in the slow, deep, salt and silent.
Luke, you're number 3.
3?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, sir.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I get the name. Natalia Watson, go ahead for me. Who did I say? It was Luke. Natalia, what number did I say for you?
3, sir.
Right. Go ahead for me, Natalia. So she's going first, then you, then number 1. Go ahead for me.
This is the horse and the hound and the horn that belonged to the farmer sowing his corn, that kept the cock and crowed in the morn, that woke the priest all shaven and sworn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that het the malt, that laid in the house that Jack built.
I'm not sure what's happening with you guys. I'm sure, I'm sure this is not the first time you're seeing this. And I told you to go home and I said to you guys, read it over, try to get the rhythm of the passage, try to get the meaning of the passage. I know people are struggling with pronouncing. The word is et. Persons are mispronouncing words. They're adding EDs where they're not supposed to be. I'm hearing H in horse. I'm hearing all kinds of pronunciation. I said it's farmer, not farmer. I did say that the ER in our case, we are a non-rhotic country, so it is a straw. So like mother and father, sister, brother, that is how you pronounce, and doctor, that is how you pronounce that part of the word is kissed, kissed. So even though it's ED, the pronunciation is T, kissed. All of these things, people, we have to be very conscious of. We really, really have to be conscious of the, in this case, pronunciation, because I think that's what you guys are struggling with. Just basic pronunciation of certain words. I don't know if you're nervous. There's no need to be nervous. This is about the second or third time you're reading it. You're reading them. Go ahead, Luke. Let's hear you.
Yes, sir. Only you can hear the houses sleeping in the streets in the slow, deep salt and silent black bondage night. Only you can see in the blind bedrooms the corns and petticoats over the chairs, the jugs and basins, the glasses of teeth, thou shalt not on the wall, and the yellowing dicky bird watching pictures of the dead. Only you can hear and see behind the eyes of the sleepers, and movements and countries and mazes and colors and dismays and rainbows and tunes and wishes and flights and fall, despair and the dark seas of their dreams.
All right, next reader.
Okay, sir.
Who's the next reader?
Sir, you hearing me? Good evening.
Go ahead for me. I'm not hearing you now. Are you reading? Is there somebody who is it supposed to be number one? Is it Lishana? Are you there, Lishana Brown?
So I was saying that I'm using my phone, so I don't know why you're not hearing me when I go on the WhatsApp to read from the chat.
Because you probably mute your mic.
Okay, I'm going to try again, sir. Sir, my mic is open, but it's not working.
But I'm hearing you now.
Sir,
I'm hearing you. You're not hearing me?
I'm here, but when I go in the WhatsApp chat, it's I'm saying hello, you're not hearing me.
Okay. All right. Let's just see. Parks, number 3, Kerry Brown, number 2, and Kerry Daly, number 1. Go ahead for me.
This is the horse and the hound and the horn that belonged to the farmer sowing his corn, that kept the cock that crowed in the morn, that woke the priest all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with a crumbled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the mud, that lay in the house that Jack built. Sir, I hope you heard that.
Yeah, I did. Sorry. Is Kerry Brown there? Go ahead for me, Kerry Brown.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead for me.
Which one, sir?
Number 2.
Only you can hear the houses sleeping in the streets in the slow, deep salt and silent black bandage night. Only you can see in the blinded bedrooms the coins and the petticoats over the chairs, the jugs and the basins, the glasses of teeth, thou salt not on the wall, and the yellowing dicky bird watching pictures of the dead. Only you can hear and see behind the eyes of the sleepers, and the movements and countries, and mazes and colors, and dismays and rainbows, and tunes, and wishes and flights, and the fall and despairs, and the dark seas of their dreams.
All right, and you're adding a lot of words, and the word is teeth.
Okay,
Teeth,
sir, thank you.
and it's thou shalt. Thou shalt, right, shalt.
Okay, sir, thou shalt.
Yes, it's kind of Shakespearean kind of
It's
language. Teeth. Teeth. No, listen, teeth. So remember, I think I'd introduced the concept of voiceless and voiced TH sound. So it's teeth. Teeth. Just as you say bath. So teeth, bath. All right. It's a voiceless TH at the end of the word.
Okay, sir.
All right. Number 1, who was supposed to read number 1?
Carry on.
All right, go ahead, carry on.
And the trill girls.
And the, hold on, and the?
And the trill girls.
Is it trill or shrill? Shrill?
Shrill.
Right. So remember I said this to you guys, that if there's a word that you're having a challenge pronouncing, you always slow down. When you reach that word, you slow down the pronunciation just to get it right. You can find creative ways of including it if it comes across as comical or as a way to feed off the audience. They will actually not realize that you're having a challenge pronouncing that particular word. All right. So go ahead for me, Miss Daly.
And the chill girls.
You're starting too fast. That's why you're having a challenge. Your pace is too fast.
And the chills.
Go ahead, just continue.
And the chill girls giggle and muster around him and squeal as they clutch and thrash, and he blubbers away downhill with his patch pants falling and his tear blush burns all the way as the triumphant sisters scream with buttons in their claws, and the bully brothers hoot after his little nickname and his mother's shame and his father's shame, father's wickedness with the loose, wild, barefoot women of the hovels. Women of the hovels of the hill.
Hovels.
hovels of the hills.
All right, so I know you have a list, but you can actually read the words because you're calling all the other words. It's just for you to pay attention to the words that are there and find a way to channel your nervousness into something positive when you're doing public speaking. All right, so enough of that. All right, let's look at some of the recordings that were shared. Okay. I would prefer if some person shared it in the WhatsApp group. Well, hold on, let's go in the WhatsApp group. All right, is this one of them? Let's see.
Good day. Welcome to the Midday News.
All right, so let's do the first one. So we're listening for pronunciation, enunciation, and all of that.
I am Luke Day. Welcome to the Midday News. I am Luke Harris. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, says it's investigating the fatal shooting of 35 years old Christopher Dogpaw Linton by the police. Linton was the feared gang leader of the Dogpaw Gang, which operates in sections of eastern St. Andrew. The shooting incident occurred yesterday on Golding Avenue in Papine, St. Andrew. Indicom says so far they have collected forensic evidence for testing initial interviews of law enforcement officers, witness canvassing, and statement collection. Assistant Commissioner Amish Campbell says they are currently seeking independent witnesses. Mr. Campbell says 5 officers involved in the incident were issued Section 21 notices to submit written statements and attend Indicom's office to be interviewed. It's reported that police officers intercepted a vehicle with Linton and a female passenger while allegedly in search of a grey vehicle with armed men. The occupants were directed to exit the vehicle. It's alleged Linton alighted from the vehicle and started shooting at the police. The officers fired in the direction of Linton, who received gunshot injuries. He was pronounced dead at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Mr. Campbell says Indicom is urging those with information to come forward.
All right, so one, you have to properly brand your news report. I'm seeing what are we seeing? We're seeing a car while the news is being read. So I'm not sure if this is how the media house looks. It seems as if they're selling cars while the reporter is reading news. And you need to learn how to spell my name, C-L-A-R-K-E. I'm not Clark. All right. There are other issues. I'm just pointing these things out because if I was grading this, I'd mark you down severely for simple errors like that, especially not spelling my name correctly. And I have been sending you emails and you get all of these various things so you know how to spell my name. All right, so word of warning to you, ensure that when I actually start grading some of these things, you are far more conscious of what you write and also what you say, even in terms of spacing. But anyhow, guys, any response? What's your take? Any comments? Constructive, of course. Constructive doesn't mean that you all agree with it, but of course. Yes, say that again. I didn't hear that.
I was asking if you had played it.
You didn't hear anything a while ago?
No.
Anybody heard anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I know I heard it.
Sir, for me,
mm-hmm.
Even though he was reading, it was not as catchy as it ought to be. And he took too many pause, too much pause.
So there were too many pauses.
Yes.
And I'm just repeating what she says. All right, anybody else? Why are people afraid to comment? I'm not sure why people are afraid to comment. Should comment, people. Mr. Harris takes this as a teachable moment. All right, so what is the news report about? Let me ask that question. What is the news report about?
Fatal shooting of dog paw.
Well, I really wanted them to tell me, not sir, not you, because I want them to also be listening, critical listening.
No,
Sorry, it
sir,
was basically
apparently it's a
reporting what
different person
happened.
together.
How Darpa
Who is
lost
Dog
his
Paw? Who is Dog Paw?
Linton.
Who is
Remember his
Dog Paw
first name.
Linton? Does the report tell you who that person is?
Not
Yes, they call him first name.
No, that's calling somebody's name doesn't tell you who he is. Does the report provide context?
He's the leader of a gang.
All right, based where?
In eastern rural Jamaica. Eastern.
Was that said in the news report, or are you adding that to it?
It was said.
Was it Spanish Town, sir?
All right, let's listen again, because I want you guys to be listening, all right?
Statement collection.
Let's listen again.
Good day. Welcome to the Midday News. I am Luke Harris. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, says it's investigating the fatal shooting of 35 years old Christopher Dogpaw Linton by the police. Linton was the feared gang leader of the Dogpaw Gang, which operates in sections of eastern St. Andrew. The shooting incident occurred yesterday on Golding Avenue in Papine, St. Andrew. Indicom says so far they have collected forensic evidence for testing initial interviews of law enforcement officers, witness canvassing, and statement collection. Assistant Commissioner Amish Campbell says they are currently seeking independent witnesses. Mr. Campbell says 5 officers involved in the incident were issued Section 21 notices to submit written statements and attend Indicom's office to be interviewed. It's reported that police officers intercepted a vehicle with Linton and a female passenger while allegedly in search of a grey vehicle with armed men. The occupants were directed to exit the vehicle. It's alleged Linton alighted from the vehicle and started shooting at the police. The officers fired in the direction of Linton, who received gunshot injuries. He was pronounced dead at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Mr. Campbell says Indicom is urging those with information to come forward.
All right, so talk to me now. What's the news report about?
It was about the death of Christopher Dogpaw Linton. He was the leader of a gang in eastern St. Andrew. He's 35 years old. He was pronounced dead at the University Hospital. They also stated what happened. Some vehicles was driving and the police told them to stop.
Vehicles were or vehicles was? Is it were or was?
Was, sir.
Plural subject? Is was plural or singular?
Sir, they were driving.
You didn't answer my question. Changing the word doesn't mean that you have, you know what, you understand what I'm asking you. Is the verb was singular or plural?
Was it singular? Were is plural?
So vehicles?
Were.
Thank you.
So the vehicles were driving and the police indicate for them to stop. It was a gray, we did identify that it was a gray vehicle. And when the police told them to stop, he had a female passenger with him, and he came out the vehicle and started firing at the police. And
All right, hold on. You're giving us too much information. because you're literally giving the news report all over again. What I want to ask is, does the tone, does his pitch, for example, how he's using the voice, does it suggest a sense of closure, or a sense that this is something that was needed? I mean, generally, how does the voice sound in terms of the speaking voice? Do we get a sense of seriousness, a sense of gravity surrounding the reporting of the death of this reputed gang leader?
No, sir.
Why do you say no?
Sir, because it just sounded as if this, all right. So the news should be shocking. However, what the speaker delivered was just like reading from a screen without any form of enthusiasm or without any form of interest.
Okay, all right. All right, so I don't want you to beat up too much on sir. He's the first brave one to come out and, you know, for me to share. But I agree with you though that the report itself needs to be matched by this is shocking, this is serious, that kind of thing. In other words, what I want you to do, and this is for everybody, is eventually move from just reading what is on paper to actually enunciating, to actually being conscious about pitch and pace and projection and pauses, the 4 Ps, that these things are now very deliberate. Notice how I am actually using my own voice to place emphasis on certain words. So when I say pitch and pauses and projection, I am deliberately focusing or zooming in on those words because they are important in your delivery as a public speaker. And as I said before, I don't expect you to sound like Paul and Porter. I don't sound like Paul and Porter because, of course, I too need additional training. But what I want for you to do or to become is conscious of delivering public speech. So it's not just about, quote unquote, pronouncing all the words correctly, but also being conscious and being able to articulate emotion and meaning behind what is being said. If it is supposed to be a sad moment, do you sound happy? If it is supposed to be a happy moment, do you sound sad? And this is why I think when Oran was reading one of the passages, I said to restart, because he sounded as if he was very slouched somewhere sitting down and say, oh, I can't be bothered with this reading thing. And that it sounded that way. So I just want for you to become very conscious of your public utterances. And and also to that this course is not just a class-based activity, but it's to help you in public spaces or platforms of public speaking, whether it be at work, in this class, at, you know, wherever you are, and you're able to project, able to enunciate. All right, let's listen to another one. I think this is from Shauna. Hold on, let me share screen. And as I said, I want for persons to comment on what is being said, and the persons whose videos have been played or are being played, you must see this as a teachable moment. These are constructive comments from your peers. All right, no one is here to tear you down or to make you feel less than. we are hoping that over time your speech would have improved, especially ing. I still not hearing people saying ing, like walking, reporting. They're still saying walking and talking, and not hearing the e, the ing part, the ing. All right. So that even something as simple as that is important in terms of pronunciation, in terms of pronouncing the words that end with, for let us say it is ed. The ed might be a t sound, like talked, as opposed to giggled. So there's a, even though it's ed, the pronunciation, the correct pronunciation is giggled, d, d, as opposed to talked, t, 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 so that the person who is listening to you would know that you're speaking even in the past tense. All right, let's listen.
Welcome to our nightly news. I am Natalia Watson. Sharing graphic anecdote in an address to Parliament on Tuesday, State Minister Robert Morgan described child abuse as one of the biggest threats to Jamaica today. Morgan, whose portfolio responsibility in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information includes Children's Affairs, said that the government is setting the stage to significantly improve the standard of care in children's homes, including by crafting new legislation. As much as it's difficult for me to admit, being the Minister of State, I had to confront the trauma in my constituency and in the ministry of the significant instances of abuse, he told lawmakers. Morgan, who was making his contribution to the state of constituency debate, said that the abuse crisis has prompted his ministry to bring forward amendments to the Child Care and Protection Act and other relevant legislation. We had a baby who had 46 fractures, not more than 3 years old. I have a story of a mother actively and physically participating in her boyfriend raping her child, he said. Morgan also reported an incident where a children's home employee beat a ward so badly that the police had to be called in. When questioned as to why he had not reported the matter, the boy's response stunned the police. Me used to them thing, yeah. So it happened at my yard, so me never expect it to be different. He is quoted as having said. The state minister, whose Clarendon North Central constituency has 3 children home, said he is on a mission to change a culture of abuse which has been normalized as integral to disciplining children. Morgan said that the cabinet note for the Maxfield Park Center of Excellence was ready and en route to the Attorney General's office, along with amendments
All
to
right,
the...
I don't know that I wanted it this long. I don't know that I wanted this long. All right, so comments, any comments, feedback? There's silence. Comments?
All right. So some of her words were pronounced correctly, but in terms of the overall presentation, it sounded more like she was being interviewed rather than doing news and reading the news.
Okay. I think that's a fair comment. I would agree with that comment. All right, so
Sir,
yes.
again, she was just merely reading. There was no form of enthusiasm again. Some of the words weren't pronounced correctly, and the pace was okay. It's just that she needed a little more punch.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you in groups, and I want for you to. So we discussed pitch, we discussed pace, right? We discussed projection, and we discussed pauses, right? Is that a yes or a no? I want for you to verbally respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to put you in groups, and I want for you to find a video, a public speech video, whether it be a news report or that has at least 3 of these things, and you're going to identify the particular moment or moments where these things are used and say how each helps the speaker or speakers achieve the purpose. Tell me if you understand. So the video, you're identifying a video that identifies or that has at least 3 of the 4 P's being effectively used by the speaker. And then all you're doing, you're just explaining it to us. Tell me if you understand. Understand, everybody? No.
Sorry, can you just go right one more time, please?
You are identifying, you're going to find a video. You're going to work in groups, find a video that has at least 3 of the 4 P's, which I've taught, right? We have pitch, pace, projection, and pauses. You are going to identify at least one moment of each in the speech and explain how each helps the speaker or speakers achieve purpose. Of course, you would have to indicate to us what's the speaker's purpose, whether it's to be to inform, educate, or whatever it is. All right. So it can be either news report, or if you want, if it is a TED talk, whatever it is, you identify it and explain that to us. So let's just look now. So what we're trying to do is to identify it in reality and in practicality, so that when you're given additional tasks, you're able to be even more conscious of it. As I said before, you're not going to be perfect in terms of public speaking, because this is a process for everybody, including myself. And it's it's just to provide you with minimum public speaking or oratorical skills that can help you in the various spaces that you occupy. All right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I've opened the breakout room. I'm giving you at least 20 minutes. So let's say about 7:35, 7:40. I'm going to close the breakout room, and please ensure that at least one of your group members will be able to share screen. All right, because we have to see the video. And don't share it in the WhatsApp group, because I don't want my phone to be filled with so many videos. All right. So at 7:35, 7:40, the latest, we start our presentation. Please go into the breakout room, people. Several persons are not in the breakout room.
The breakout room, sir.
You just need to check, sir. It's there. Jerome and Junior, you're not in any breakout room. All right, so let's see. Room 1, Sarita, Kamalia, Carrion, listen. All right, I'm going to get his name. Go ahead for me. Let's see what you guys came up with.
You're talking about my name? You got it very correct.
Listen, okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Yes, thanks.
So we're having a problem with sharing the sound. I'm not sure what the problem with the sound is.
All right,
So,
share it in the WhatsApp group, and I don't know if you guys are. So is it that the sound was not, the video that you selected, the sound was not audible?
So personally, you can hear the sound, but sharing it, not getting any sound, no matter how we
Because
try.
you're probably not sharing it correctly. All right, so put it in the WhatsApp group. Let me share it for you guys. Probably is because you're not.
Put it in the chat.
No, not the chat. I mean, yeah, put it in the chat or in the WhatsApp group so that I can share it. Okay, here it is.
Yeah. And you can bring it to about 1:10 seconds, 1:08 seconds.
All right, so all right, hold on. Let me share screen now.
May I ask you, how are your public speaking and presenting skills? Are you
Good afternoon, I'm Vashan Brown with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. We begin with a developing story in the region. A hurricane watch remains in effect for Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines as Tropical Storm Gonzalo continues along the path to the Caribbean.
From here?
To be one of the shooters in the incident on Constant Spring Road in St. Andrew this morning is in hospital under police guard after he turned up for treatment. Another of the alleged gunmen was shot and killed during the reported confrontation with the police. 2 police officers were shot and injured. The incident happened about 1:30. It was reported that 2 policemen were on patrol when they observed a white Honda Civic parked on the road. They approached the vehicle and attempted to make inquiries. The occupants reportedly fired on the policemen, hitting them both before attempting to flee. The injured officers returned the gunfire and the car crashed a short distance away. Now one of the men ran from the vehicle.
When should I pause? When should I pause though?
You can pause. So sir, the comment is pace. Pace is very consistent and clear.
That's not what pace means though. What's your understanding of the term pace?
He was not too fast or too slow.
All right, so talk to me again. You guys should have written down what you're going to say now, because it can't be that everybody's kind of trying to talk at the same time. So you say one, okay, this is pace. This is what we think about pace, and one person reports whoever is reporting. So it could be one person is commenting on pace, the other one commenting on something else, the other one commenting on something else, and the other one commenting on something else. Remember, I'm going to mark you guys down if you come in foolishness for my real graded assignments. Because I think you people think you're doing some party shop business. You're going to do very, very good work for me, sir and moms. All right, continue. I'm listening. Continue, sir. Why you get silent? I scare you? I don't know if I scare you, but I'm just saying these are things you're second year students. I shouldn't be telling you how to organize yourself. If it was first year, no, then I would understand. But you're second year students, you should know how to, organize yourself because you have been doing group work forever. Continue. Time is going, so I'm not sure why you get silent. I scared you. I don't know why.
Okay, sir. His projection was okay. It wasn't too high. And he spoke about the pace already. His projection was okay.
And he was very clever with his pauses. So sometimes it seems like if he's going to make a mistake, then he makes a pause and try to get out the word clearly, correctly.
Yes, I would agree with that. I that's a good observation. I saw that as well.
All right, the next thing that we observe in this speech, the pitch. So his pitch changes whenever he pauses and beginning a new topic.
In other words, it's conveying transition to the audience.
Right.
Okay, all right. All right, so I'll take that for now, in the interest of time. Let's go to room 2, Junior, Carlene, Samoy. I think they are, all right, let's go to room 3 first before room 2. Georgette, Natalia, Renee, and Sojel. Go ahead for me.
I need you to get this done today. And the only element that I change level for intensity. If I take a simple sentence, I need you to get this done today. And the only element that I change is intensity. I need you to get this done today. All of a sudden, you all take a little step back because I'm all of a sudden perceived as being aggressive, assertive, or potentially, if I was at a sporting event, enthusiastic. If we take that same sentence and all I do is change intensity, I need you to get this done today. I'm potentially being perceived as shy or uncertain of what I'm talking about. So intensity as an element alone contributes to this overall idea of vocal brand. The second element that goes into voice brand is in.
All right. So, sir, start off with the pitch of the speech based on what we have listened and an example that she gave just now. I'm saying, using one example of getting something being done, I need to get this done today. Using different level of pitch, high or low pitch, it may perceive in a different way to different persons. Her reading pattern was rather slow.
A reading pattern?
I'm
asking if that's what.
Pace. Pace, sir. Yeah. I'm sorry. So, sir, our pace was rather slow, and the listener, which would have been us, and the audience that she's speaking in front of, we could have understand exactly what she's saying. So pace, pattern. I don't remember what was the next one.
The persons who are in the group, can they also speak? If you don't remember, they're supposed to assist you.
Yes, sir. Oh, go ahead, Shazam.
The next one was projection. You could clearly hear what she was explaining, regardless of where in the room or in the audience you were. So her projection was impeccable to some extent. The other one was pauses. The pauses were convenient. As to the reasoning behind it, we did not get to thoroughly examine where the pauses came. So we are not sure as to if it's about mistake or catching a breath or something like that.
That means you should have chosen a different video. Why would you choose this video knowing that you can't explain? You should, first of all, I would not have chosen this video. You chose a video that the lady was talking about the activity that I gave you to do. You should have chosen a video that has nothing to do with vocal, using your voice to shape anything at all. You should have chosen a normal video where it be a news report or somebody speaking at a funeral or somebody at a reception. And then you try to make a determination about the 4 Ps or 3 of the 4 Ps. You shouldn't have chosen this video. In other words, this was kind of a kind of way of plagiarizing what I asked you to do. Choose something that has nothing to do with public speaking. in relation, well, let me say it this way, choose a video that the person is not explaining pause and pace and pitch and all of that kind of thing. And then you're able to, you're trying to explain what the speaker is doing and how the speaker is using his or her voice. It was the wrong video to choose. That's why you're having a challenge, because the speaker is focusing on something specific. All right, room 4, Jerome, Lorian, Luke, Patricia, go ahead for me.
Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellors, Principals, Registrars, Ministers of Government, members of the Diplomatic Corps, officers of the university, professors, lecturers, members of staff, honorary graduates, parents, friends and fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, a felicitous morning to you all. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Chancellor and Dr. Michael Holding for their very inspiring and engaging addresses. The motto of the university is "A light rising from the west," and we, the graduating class of 2018, will hope to be beacons of inspiration from the east, the west, the north, and the south. Fellow graduates, like the caterpillar and the butterfly, we have survived that cathartic experience. We reached the Rubicon, arriving as graduands, and having crossed it as imperiously as Caesar did in 49 BC, we have arrived as graduates.
Okay, sir, for the interest of time, we'll just comment from for that short period, because the video is way longer. So we'll just give our comments from that portion that was shared.
Mm-hmm. I am listening.
Okay, I'll go first. As it relates to her pitch, based on what I heard, I would say her pitch at times her pitch was high, and at times it was low. I think she raises the tone of her voice, especially when she's emphasizing on something that is deemed important. So based on her emotions and her attitude, that's when she actually raised her voice, and then she would go down lower based on certain, when she reads certain parts, so she would go lower.
I'm listening, people, continue.
Yes, sir. So our voice projection throughout the presentation, it was not too high or low, sir. It was at a moderate level, so that persons in the room, all the persons in the room would actually hear exactly what she was saying, and no one would have to basically, based on what I'm seeing, no one was basically straining to hear what was said.
And she also displayed pauses where she was going to touch important parts or call specific person's name, like professors and so forth. So she acknowledged their pauses there as well.
All right. In other words, the pauses were used as a way to acknowledge the presence of the dignitaries.
Yes, sir.
So she used the pauses to acknowledge the presence of the dignitaries. That's it?
Sir, also her pace, it wasn't fast and it wasn't slow, so it was just moderate.
Why? How does that help her to achieve the purpose?
So that persons in the room could actually listen to what she's saying, and actually they could hear exactly the message that she's bringing across. Right. So the message would be clear to them.
Okay. All right, so I think you guys did a really good job in terms of one, choosing the right video. I think this is a perfect example, especially in terms of the pauses, as you rightly say, and as well as the pitch, especially when she was saying the word felicious. There are certain words. Let's just do a. Can you just go back for me? Room 2. Are you able to? Did you manage to find a video? Junior, Caroline, and Samoy.
Well, yes, sir. We found a video, but
were you able to go through the video in terms of identifying 3 of the 4 P's?
Not fully.
Okay.
No.
All right. So let's just use this video. Go back for me and play from the beginning.
Vice Chancellor,
From the beginning.
Vice Chancellors, Principal.
Oh no, not when they call her up. Yeah, just go back to when she starts
I now
speaking.
call on the club. Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellors, Principals, Registrars, Ministers of Government, members of the Diplomatic Corps, officers of the university, professors, lecturers, members of staff, honorary graduates, parents, friends and fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, a felicitous morning to you all.
Pause for me there. So that's an example of where she zooms in on that particular word, knowing that would probably spark some amount of reaction because she tends to throw in these particular words. I don't know that it was even relevant there, but of course, within the context of what was happening. And she's a popular figure. However, she's also a trained public speaker. So this is actually a very good example of the 4 Ps in their totality. She's one of the better speakers in Jamaica, Paula and Porter. Other speakers include, for example, Barack Obama, Martin Luther King. There are certain persons who are very, 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 very good speaking voice. Oprah Winfrey, especially when she is doing certain public speeches. All right. So what I want for you to do for me now, for homework, you're going to identify a different video. And I want a more detailed response in terms of identifying the 4 Ps. All right, a far more detailed response. And each person should be explaining something different. So please, you can't stop sharing. So I need for you to identify certain things in the video. So let me just put it in the WhatsApp group. So I want for you to tell me the purpose of the speech, the audience, the factor, let me put factors that triggered the speech or that could have triggered the speech, the 4 Ps and how they help the speaker achieve purpose, the main point being expressed, the main point being expressed by the speaker, purpose of the speech. Yeah, they're giving me a kind of triggers 4 Ps and how they help the speaker achieve the purpose, the main point being expressed. We normally say main idea, purpose, audience, context. Oh, and organization. The speech should not be longer than 2 minutes. This is all right. So you are identifying, you're working in the same groups. Let me just ensure that you know who you're working with. going to share that in the WhatsApp group as well, so that you don't lose that. All right, any question? Anything unclear? Is everything clear in terms of the homework?
So, sir, we're gonna come and share the video and we give you identify all of what you asked.
Yes, right.
Okay, sir.
So it's a more detailed response. And in our other class now, we're going to do some tongue twisters that will help you again to sharpen some of the pronunciations and enunciation. And I'm still waiting on the course leader to send me, I've got some coursework, but she's supposed to send me some other things that I'm waiting on that I haven't received as yet. And then we're going to also do some what we call sight reading exercises that again will help you. Next week, Wednesday, we should have Darren Henry. I'm going to call him and remind him. He was supposed to be here today. So I'm going to see if I can get him to come next week. He's a news reporter and he's going to help you in terms of broadcasting news. Oh my God, I have a class. Have a good evening, everybody.
Sir,
yes.
you finished with the group names? I don't see mine.
Were you in a group?
Yes, I was.
Well, I just captured what was on screen.
It's the same persons.
Yeah, that's what. So you're not seeing your name in what was shared in the WhatsApp group?
No, I'm in group 1. I'm gonna say that room 1.
All right, room 1. So work with the persons in room 1 if that's the room you were in. All right.
Cool.
All right. Good night, everybody. I have to run because I have a class, another class.
Night, sir.